But once that idea comes to you, then you have to build on it. Threads of history, threads of culture, threads of architecture, art and everything, music, all of that to build a suspense novel. Everything about it was like, thrilling.
Namaskara, Dr. Manjiri Prabhu, ma'am. It is truly an honor and a delight to welcome you to Spark Igniting Minds. You are a celebrated author, a visionary filmmaker, a curator of literary festivals, and most importantly, a pioneer in Indian crime fiction. So welcome again, ma'am, to Spark Igniting Minds.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, you have often been compared to Dan Brown and Agatha Christie, two masters of suspense, I can say. Tell us, what is your signature style when it comes to creating a mystery? And also, how do you build a page turner?
Well, that's a difficult question because, I was compared to Agatha Christie when my first novel came out way back in, 90s and early 2000s. And at that time, there weren't any Indian mainstream mystery writers. So automatically I got compared to, to the West. And who's the best in the West? It's Agatha Christie. So at that time it was Agatha Christie. And so automatically I got compared to her. And basically mystery fiction, the kind I write, there's no conscious aping of her style. It's just that, sometimes I like to have a double twist or a grand finale like she does. So I guess that was the comparison. And Dan Brown was much later when I started my destination thrillers. So I was compared to Dan Brown by Dr. Shashi Tharoor, who said that I'm a match for Dan Brown. I wasn't compared to him, that I was a match to him, which was very kind of him.
Do you emulate Dan Brown?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't emulate anyone. You can't emulate anyone because at some point you have to have your own voice. Correct. And you have to have your own style. And you ask me what's my signature style, and for every author, they will have their own signature style and it's going to be unique to them. I think for me, I work towards around a surprise element in the book. For me, keeping the book suspenseful, full of suspense, right till the end is my full goal. And along with that, I like to deliver small messages because I think that mystery fiction is a very all-encompassing format. It's like a genre wherein you can give a lot of other messages within one entertaining mystery format. So my goal is also to deliver some small messages through it. And the entire process for me is about creating memories because I think for me, I guess, if you want to ask me why I write mysteries and what brings my signature style, whatever it is, very difficult to pin down one, but I think it's immortality. I really want to be immortal in the eyes of readers and in the minds of readers because I think that memories are the only thing that pass on through DNA from generations to generations. And I feel that if my characters stay on in the minds of readers and then they are passed on through the DNA, I stay immortal. So that's what I'm gearing for and that's what my signature style, the objective of if there is a so-called signature style, it's all about that. And
also in your characters, I see a lot of philosophical reflections are there.
Absolutely, yes. I believe that the genre I'm writing has a lot to offer and I am personally very philosophical and spiritual and I believe that love, peace, compassion are the ultimate truths of life and through all my books I try to give those.
And usually crime books doesn't contain anything
philosophical.
But
that's the whole point.
We feel.
That's the whole point. You use crime to deliver a message which is uniquely different from what it is. So it's like a paradox, but you can use that genre for it.
And also cliffhangers, red herrings and plot twists. And how do you weave these without giving too much of it and yet keeping the readers obsessed, how do you do that, ma'am?
You're asking me for my secrets.
Yes.
My secret formula. Well, it's you have to work at it.
Yes.
Because you can write any kind of novel.
Yes.
I mean, you can start off writing any kind of novel and let it unfold gradually, and you can grow with it and learn with it. But mystery formats or mystery novels are not like that. You need to have a complete outline. You need to know who did it, and you have to achieve the who did it in the end. So it's a process. It's a proper analytical, logical process, and you have to have, it's not a formula though, it's a process, and you have to have your own process, and every mystery writer will have their own process. So cliffhangers and hooks and red herrings will all appear when you know what you want to achieve. I mean, characters have to be multi-layered, and they have their backstories, and each character will lead the story forward, and situations are not random or not coincidental. There has to be a reason why each situation happens. So everything in a mystery novel has to be done on purpose. And that is, therein lies the success of a mystery novel.
And even Dan Brown, I think, he is very famous for his cliffhangers. He'll leave the audience curious.
Yes.
Isn't it? Ma'am, you are very good at weaving folklore and science into your novels. And how do you do that? And why are you drawn to the folklore? Can you explain more about it, ma'am?
Well, see, I feel that we don't live in a vacuum.
Yes.
All of us, whether in India or all my other destination thrillers, I believe that we have a history. Of course, we have a history, but that history in some way affects us. Our culture affects us. Our lifestyle affects us. The food we eat, the people we meet, all of that affects us. So we aren't living in a vacuum. And when I am writing mysteries, I want to create something which is not written before. So I like to include threads of history, threads of culture, threads of architecture, art and everything, music, all of that to build a suspense novel. Because that's what will make it unique. And the very reason why I go to destinations to do this is because each destination, whether it's Austria in the Trail of Four, or whether it's Voice of Runes in Sweden, or whether it's Portugal or now Oxford, each destination has its own unique qualities. I already get kind of the parameters there, like their architecture, the history, whatever, the monuments, I already get it. So what I need to now do is extract a story out of it, and that is what makes it unique. So the purpose of bringing all this in together is to write a story which has not been written before.
And your setting itself in your novels becomes character in themselves. That's what you were trying to say now. Even your latest novel is set in Oxford. And why Oxford, if I can ask you?
Why Oxford? Okay, so I've done Austria, I've done Sweden, I've done Portugal, I've done Germany. And I needed to move away from Central Europe, into another space, but which is an English space. And I've grown up reading Enid Blyton books. We've read Agatha Christie, we've read Jane Austen. These are all British novelists who've had some influence on me. And Oxford specifically, the way it happened was that I was invited to the Oxford Literary Festival in 2023 to launch my book Legend of the Snow Queen. And when I went to Oxford, I was so fascinated by that space, everything about it was like, thrilling and academic. And there were writers at every, let's say, centimeter of the land, whatever. It's so, that entire culture is so embedded in academics and in writing and literature and in all of it. And I said, and at that point I was
intellect,
of course, all of that, exactly, and science and everything. It was like the perfect combination of science and mystery for me. And at that point I was looking for my next destination thriller, and the moment I went to Oxford, I realized this was it. And of course there's this childish urge to base an English novel in the English countryside, and of course to write a novel where in a space where huge writers, legendary writers have already written great books. So I thought, well, why not try it?
That's wonderful. And you build stories backward from the climax, like solving a jigsaw puzzle, I can say. So do your plots evolve organically, or how do you write, ma'am?
Organically, I don't know if anything about mystery.
How do these plots come to you? Like,
so my first and most important thing is that I don't chase ideas. Ideas come to me.
Yes.
You know, I believe that ideas are like you have dust particles all around us. I believe that ideas are like particles around us.
Okay.
And they're looking for a fertile mind, brain, ground where they can come and embed. And I think they find me.
Yeah.
You know, and they find you. Yeah, they find you when you are in a very still space where nothing exists. Maybe in between books, or maybe in between thoughts. You know, when you are still, you're the most perfect fertile ground then, and that's when the idea sows itself in you. So I feel that ideas come to me. So if that is organic, then yes, then that's organic. But once that idea comes to you, then you have to build on it.
Yes.
And I'd have complete faith in my creative process.
Right.
I just know that this is now going to evolve into a fine novel. Whether anybody accepts it or not, I think it's going to be a fine novel.
Yeah.
And so then I work around it. And yes, like you said, that I always know who did it, and then I work backwards from there, because the ultimate goal is to solve something. You know, to solve a crime, to find a culprit, you know, or to stop some country from being destroyed. Depends on the magnitude of the whole issue.
Okay.
But I know what's going to happen, and I have to work backwards from there, because the entire process is to prevent that from happening.
Right,
so that's how it is.
Okay. And when do you know mystery is just right for you? And if there is a moment when you can lean back and say, now this will keep them guessing.
Okay, so when I've worked on the book and I've written it out, and I don't do too many drafts, by the way. I don't like have 100 drafts of a book.
Okay.
I do one basic draft.
Your first draft
my
is
first
the best
draft is not my best draft, but I know that the content is all there.
Yes.
The best content is there. The rest is polishing it a bit, language improvements, making sure there are no loopholes.
Okay.
That's the second one. And third one comes from the publisher for copy editing and all that. So between 2 to 4 maximum, right up to the publishing stage, is what I really work on. So when I finish my manuscript, I know with a certainty inside me that it's done, that I can't do any more, that I've covered all my bases, that I've given this my best. I just know instinctively, and I have faith in myself. I believe that, like for example, even if I look at a book 10 years that I've written 10 years ago, and you've matured from that 10 to now, obviously.
Yes.
But when I look at the book 10 years ago, I feel, oh, I did my best at that time with my maturity. Yes, with whatever maturity at stage of life I was in, I think I gave it my best. So there's no single book that I feel, oh, I could have written this better. I don't feel that. So I arrive at the stage where I feel, this is it, I've done my best, and it's
perfect,
and it's ready to go out there. I feel that.
Yes.
And I believe in it whether others believe in it or not. That's another thing. And even if 10 publishers reject that book, I continue to have faith in myself, because I know that I've given my best, and I can't do any, I can't change anything in it. I mean, there could be minor editings, but the plot doesn't change. There are no loopholes. I'm very sure of that. So I know that if a publisher rejects the book, it's because of some personal reasons. Like it doesn't fit into their whatever, their list for that year, or they don't want to publish those kind of books. But it's not for a lack of quality of my book. I have firm belief in that.
You have firm belief.
Absolutely,
in
because I've done my best.
Yes, and that is wonderful, ma'am. And what literary devices do you bring in your novel? Like, for example, foreshadowing, that is, I feel there's a lot of foreshadowing in your novel. If you can explain more about it, how could that be?
You're asking me for my secrets again.
I want to take out all your secrets,
So, I don't know if I actively go about, deliberately go about getting in literary devices, but I know that I do what is best for the plot.
Right.
And foreshadowing is definitely one of them, because I feel that because it's a mystery novel.
Mystery novel,
and
it should have.
there is an element of spirituality in it. There is an element of mysticism in it. The weather plays an important role in it. All my books have there's either rain or snow or something. So weather is also another character in it. So when all this is at play, I feel that I always start with a prologue. All my books start with a prologue, which give you a hint of what has to come.
Right.
And I also introduce the main characters right in the beginning. I give them all to you, and that's where my whole thing is about mind games. I like to play mind games with people, and if I have to use a literary device for it, I don't actively do it, but it maybe comes naturally. It comes through. But foreshadowing, like you mentioned and you noticed, yes, I do use a lot.
Right. And as the founder director of 2 international festivals, you have brought Pune onto the world literary map. What were the biggest creative and logistical challenges that you have faced while organizing such big events, and how did you turn your challenges into opportunities?
Well, it's a long story. You'll have to have another whole big session only on PILF. But I think for any festival to actually happen consistently for 12 years, this is like the 13th year of PILF, one of the major issues and challenges is funding. You know, that's always, because it's a big festival, so the money involved is big.
And who does the funding, ma'am, for you?
No, we have to look for sponsors, and the sponsors keep changing. So every year is like a new, you know, cycle. And it's like, it's a whole, it's a, how should I say, 6 months of work. You know, just looking for interested people to come and sponsor the festival. Right. So that is the biggest challenge, and I think a lot of festivals would probably have it, but definitely PILF has it. The second thing, I think, what I enjoy, I mean, it's not a challenge, but what I really enjoy is the curation and the fact that I get to meet a lot of authors and give them a platform. Because I know that authors need platforms. I know that authors need to come out of their what should I say, hiatus, or not even hiatus, their seclusion when they're writing the books, and they have to come out and meet their readers, and that makes all the difference in the next book they write. So I feel that this a platform where they can actually come and talk about their books and meet their readers is a must. And so I go all out to make sure that I invite good people, and you know, we give lots of chances to debut authors, you know, which is really great, because poor debut authors are
authors from the world abroad.
Yes, of course, yes. From everywhere, as per our budgets, everywhere, and that gives me a lot of satisfaction. So that is my high. The high for me is that challenges are funding, challenges are putting all this together, getting a dedicated team. My family helps me a lot. Without my family, the festival won't happen. So all these things are there, and to keep doing it consistently requires crazy passion.
Correct.
Yeah, because it's not just
you have event. A big team behind.
No, we have a very small team, in fact, and it's mostly my family. Very small team, and you have to be crazy and passionate about it, because there's nothing to gain out of it other than satisfaction.
Right. And how does it differ from your PILF? How does it differ from that other
IFSI? Yeah, so the second festival is called International Festival of Spiritual India. So there was a point in 2018 that I felt that you know, something needed to be done for the minds of people. We always had a spiritual couple of sessions in PILF, but I realized that we needed to grow beyond that, because the way the world was unfolding, the way people were frustrated, the way people were, you know, they were losing their paths, and I felt that there needed to be some kind of hand-holding by experts, not me, by experts who would guide them in their lives and offer them tools to live their best life. So what we did over 3 days was get in all kinds of spiritual by fields, like for example,
spiritual authors or
authors also, but it was mostly about workshops, where we got in Isha and Art of Living, and we got hypnotherapists, and we got in angel readers and past life regressioners, and we got in yoga practitioners and meditors and Sufi singers, and you know, everything that would give you an idea of what can help you in life. And all these, everything was there for free, and people could pick and choose what they wanted to and what they felt could help in their lives. And so that is the big difference in PILF, which is mostly about the arts and books, and this is about the mind and helping people grow and be healthy and happy.
So I think you're balancing both storytelling and soul telling.
Perfect.
Isn't it?
I couldn't have said it better.
You have announced a mentorship program for the budding writers also. What will your writing course look like? And if you have to give your first 3 lessons.
So this is
the author must learn.
So this is basically for people who actually have a book in them.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll talk about the basics of story writing and all, but this mentorship course is only for a month. It has about 16 hours in it. And if you have a book in you, then you should come to me, and together we will make sure that it is structured well, it is formed well, it will grow well, and at the end of the month you'll definitely know what you're going to write, and in the next few months you'll write the book out. So it's again hand holding, but I'll add
only 16 hours.
It's only 16 hours. Yes, it's not 16 hours. It's just 1 month, and you come with an idea.
But the author should have a book in him.
Obviously,
already.
I mean, if you don't have an idea, then you know, there's no point. Then you do a normal workshop on how to write. But this is about developing the novel you have in you and make sure that you write it. And that's what it's all about.
That's fantastic, because usually all these courses, you know, it starts from elementary, basic writing and all those things. If this is an advanced level, I think.
It is advanced level, and it is to make sure that you write your book. Because you keep procrastinating, you keep doubting yourself, you wonder whether you're good enough or not. So the mentorship is to bring you to a level where you know that, okay, I can do this.
And you give moral support and intellect support also to the authors.
Absolutely.
That's fine. Then with 23 books to your name, do you feel your responsibility towards your readers has changed, or you're now writing more for society?
You know, I was always a responsible writer. I have always written with one goal.
No, but you evolve, you know. As you write, you evolve.
I evolved as a writer, but my objective has not evolved. My objective has been the same from book 1. And the objective is very simple. It is to spread love, peace, compassion in this world. You know, and that's the message I give in all my books. Whether you see a murder, you see a theft, or you just see a romance, the objective is to let the world know that you have no option for love, peace and compassion. That's it. That's my objective. It's always been there, you know. But yes, having said that, I've written for myself a lot, because I write what I like, and I hope that the world will also like it.
And how do you blend this social insight in your fiction?
How do I blend with
in crime fiction? Because crime fiction, we always feel, I mean, it is always something bad, and it is
negative.
Something negative. Something negative. And you have always said it is a tool for peace. Literature is a tool for peace. That's what you have said. And it is quite contradictory, I can see. Peace and this negative.
That's because you're looking at mystery fiction as a negative genre. You feel that murder is negative and all. It is negative. But mystery genre is a motivational genre. All's well that ends well. Which is that Shah Rukh Khan film in which it says, पिक्चर अभी बाकी अगर हुआ नहीं है, अगर वो क्या वो डायलॉग है कुछ, तो वो से इसकी अगर खत्म नहीं हुआ है तो इसका मतलब है खत्म नहीं हुआ है, something like that. So I also believe that the mystery genre tells you that no matter what comes into your life, ultimately everything is going to be fine. All the knots in your life are going to be solved, you know. No matter there's a crime in your life, or no matter there's a heartbreak in your life, no matter what, ultimately it's all going to be solved. That's what mystery genre tells you, and it's a motivational genre. You know, and when you look at it as a motivational genre, then it is very easy to turn the negatives into positives. For example, I'll tell you, in one of my, of course, all my destination thrillers have peace building climaxes, all of them. Like for example, in the Portugal book, a new peace symbol is being offered by Portugal to the world. Or in Legend of the Snow Queen, a 5-country peace treaty is being signed, which is about to be disrupted. So it's all about, so you can incorporate it in multiple ways. But to give you a very Indian example, in one of my books, that is the second, the Astral Lullaby, which is the stellar signs, which is the astro detective Sonia Samar, there are multiple cases in it which she solves with the help of horoscopes. There's one story about dowry, where I've used dowry as a negative thing to give a positive, but not that she dies or something. It's the bride who uses dowry to give a message out, you know, in a very positive manner. So you can use the negatives to give positive messages, and you just have to know how to do it.
There should be negatives.
There is no positive without a negative. This is duality is the nature of life. Fact of life. It's like undeniable fact of life. Everything is dual. Yeah.
And you have completed 52 years in writing, ma'am. Almost a lifetime. If you could give an advice to your 12-year-old self, so what would that be?
I'd give myself many advices. Not just one. I would say.
When did you start writing?
I started writing at 7.
7. Oh,
I knew I was going to be a writer.
And it was a crime only at 7?
Mystery writing, right?
Mystery writing only.
Yes,
from the
beginning. Yeah. Totally, I knew I was going to write mysteries, and that's what I wanted to do. Write mystery novels to give certain messages.
Okay.
But when I look back, I can see where I faltered.
Okay.
You know, for example, I would always tell myself, even to my younger self, don't worry about what others think of your work.
Okay.
You know, just do it. I would tell myself, don't be shy. I was a very shy kid, very shy kid, and I just couldn't even say hello to anyone.
Right.
You won't believe it, now I'm a blabberist, if there's a word. But at that point, I really was shy. I was so happy just being in my own world. And I would tell my younger self, just go out there, make more friends, meet more people, travel more. You know, I tell all these things to my younger self. I mean, I do this all now, but as a child, I was very hesitant. I was kind of a very reclusive, happy to write in my own books and that kind of a person. Whereas my sister was a very friendly person, and I used to always say, how can she do it? How can she make so many friends? I had no friends in school. So when I look at myself as a child, I'll tell her, just don't be shy, just do your thing and just be happy doing it.
Wonderful message. And they call the Indian Agatha Christie, but if Agatha Christie could come here and take an interview of you, what would her first question be to you?
First of all, if Agatha Christie was to come here, I would hug her. I would say thank you for having written whatever you've written so far. You know, she's kind of, I think every other mystery writer I meet aspires to be an Agatha Christie. Okay, so she's like huge and she's up there. So if she comes, I would hug her first.
Right.
And I would thank her.
Okay.
What would she ask me? She'd say, I think she would probably say, have you written anything that I have not written? I have not written. I think that's the question she would ask me.
That's the first.
Yeah. She'd say, have you written something that I have not written?
I have not
because
written.
She's covered everything.
She has covered everything.
Everything. And I don't know what answer I'd give her, but I would say, please read my books. But definitely I would, I'm sure she'd ask me that.
Now, ma'am, is there a real life incident, like spiritual, emotional or thrilling, that has inspired your novels?
Inspired my novels? Well, I can just give you
if there is something strange that you have written.
Oh, many. There are many incidents in my life through the books. I keep feeling that I've been led on a certain path. One doesn't, kind of become a writer overnight. You have to really work hard for it. But to know that you are meant to be on that path, you need to get assurances, not just from the world, but from beyond the world. You know, the God or the supreme being or your muse has to be with you to achieve whatever little you have to achieve. And I think I've been guided all along to write what I've written. But I'll give you one simple example.
I really commend your imagination power. Like you have to go to different worlds to get that into the book.
But I'll tell you how I get messages. This book, The Grand Oxford Mystery. Okay. Now, this is the 5th book in the series. And this book has, in the previous books, Ray Parker, who's the detective and who works with energies, he's had a heartbreak. Okay. A very, very rotten heartbreak that he can't recover from. And I was wondering before I started writing this book, how can Ray, have someone in his life to get him back, for him to bounce back. And I mean, there was at this back of mind, you know that I'm a dog lover. At the back of my mind, I thought there should be a dog now, who comes. He's the only one who can bring him back. But I hadn't kind of, how should I say, I hadn't kind of concretized that idea.
Right.
But when I went to Oxford, okay, I was there for research. I went back for research, and the room I was given, when I walked into the room, you won't believe it, right on the wall was the picture of a dog, a big picture of a dog in a checked shirt and a checked cap.
Oh,
like a Sherlock Holmes cap.
Yeah.
And it's a dictionary page, everything written on him, on dog related, dog this, dog that, dogmatic, dog ears, dog everything, all on it. But the picture of a dog, and it was like a straight message that a dog had to enter into this, into this book. But that's not just that. Of course, I met dogs while I was there, but there was a museum on Kafka going on at the same time in Oxford. Beautiful exhibition that they had set up, and my eyes, kind of narrowed on one book, and it was called Investigations of a Dog.
Okay.
And I just
by Kafka.
Yeah, but it's a very small, tiny book, and I think I got it, but I don't know where it is now. It was a tiny book, but the title, Investigations of a Dog, and a dog in my room, just told me, well, this is it. This is a direct message. Get a dog involved in this, and the dog in this book.
I was about to ask, can you write a crime fiction with a philosopher and a dog? Do you?
Why not? Why not? But in this book, the dog does enter.
The dog has
and Ray has a relationship with him. Rocky relationship at first, but Archie, that's the dog's name, does help him solve the mystery.
Right.
So that's important.
You have directed over 200 children shows and 50 plus short films for children. So I like working with children, and your visual storytelling for children must have shaped your literary voice also. How does it differ from the crime books? Your children books and crime books, if we compare, there must be a lot
there's always mystery, even when I was working with children. Yeah, I've written 2 children books also with our mystery books. So my genre has not got anywhere. It could get diluted when I'm writing for children. It can get severe when I'm writing for adults. But it's very much there. And see, children are like, they're molds. They're like unmolded lumps of flesh, if you want to call it that. You have to mold them. And what better way to mold children than using formats and stories that will bring out, show them what the world is, but at the same time how to overcome the negativities in life. So I've definitely, for me, children, I worked in children's television for 17 years before I actually became a full-time writer. So I have seen children and their issues and their problems and their academic ups and downs at very close quarters. So I know how to, I won't say I know, but I kind of know how to deal with them and how to...
You know their psychology.
I understand the psychology, and we used to do infotainment programs, which means we used to teach through entertainment. And we used to take a lot of the syllabus and all. So I've experimented tremendously. Like I did the first children's animation, video cell animation film when I was working there, which was on the evolution of the wheel. So a 10-minute animation film, which is like the first in that time. This is in 1980s. So I've experimented a lot with films and using children. In fact, at that time I started a series called Kara and Kha. Make and eat. And that was, all the anchors were only boys.
This is Marathi, no?
Kara and Kha. But all the anchors were boys. The boys used to come in studios and actually cook. So this is again in 80s where I kept saying all are equal and boys need to know how to cook. So I've used this videos and films to really further my own agendas in lots of ways.
Oh, that's wonderful, I can say. Also, I have been a lifelong advocate, as you were saying, stray dogs, and you love dogs and all that. In a world full of chaos, like how do animals teach us?
Oh my God, that's a long. Animals, how to teach? They teach us a lot. Animals, so I'm going to specifically talk about the dog because I'm a huge dog lover. I love animals, but a dog is our oldest companion. More than 17,000-18,000.
Have at home?
Oh, I have. If you open my book, The Dog Tree in a Piece, you'll see a dedication page which has more than 100 dogs on it. So we've come across, my family, my husband, and we've looked after dogs for more than 35-40 years, and we take care of street dogs. So the net result of all of this was The Dog Tree of Peace, which says clearly that it's an alternate path to spirituality and to enlightenment. So I very strongly believe that we've all organically always, while we were growing up, been kind, compassionate people. But as we grew up, we, you know, there's so many things, the competitions and cutthroat competition and career chances and choices and family issues and parents say, yeah, there's so much happening that we've kind of forgotten how to be compassionate and kind to people. And I was always thinking about this, how is it possible to bring that compassion back into the lives of humans, to make humans more humane, because they've forgotten that. And I said the only answer was dogs. And this book, The Doctrine of Peace, is almost like a 360 degrees angle of like a empirical research. So I talk about the spiritual angle, the emotional angle, the scientific angle, the social angle on how dogs can teach us to be good human beings.
Really?
Yes. And like you have the Yoga Sutras, there are dog sutras. There's a 9-fold path called the Doctrine. And if everyone in this world follows that path, I can assure you this world will be a peaceful and happy place.
Okay. Can you tell some of the sutras?
I can't. The first sutra, the first part is adopt a dog. Preferably a street dog. Preferably a street dog. Bring a dog into your life, no matter how and which way, and help him teach you, because you will you have to take care of him through thick and thin, through illness and wellness. Okay, and then let the dog teach you, because he's invariably going to open your heart. You know, our heart is like a divine chamber, and once love seeps into the divine chamber, it spills over from the divine chamber and spills over to other dogs. And once it spills over to other dogs, it spills over to human beings. So your sister, siblings, spouse, your neighbors, it's a snowballing effect. And when each one of us does it, it's going to encompass the whole world.
Wow, that is such a beautiful theory and such a beautiful concept, I can say. As a woman leader, mystery writer and festival founder, you have broken many barriers. What still needs to change for Indian women?
Indian woman?
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So my first thing is that I never ever, you know, I'm a very, how should I call it, genderless person in my head.
What is that?
A genderless person. So I don't look at myself as a woman.
Okay.
When I step into a room, I'm not a woman, I'm a person. And when I look at you, you're not a woman, you're a person for me.
Okay.
So I think the first thing a woman needs to do is to be a person.
No gender bias.
No gender biases, no gender constraints, no limitations. And the moment you do that and you treat others with that, the shackles of stereotypical hierarchy and whatever you want to call it, they just break away.
Correct.
Okay, because you will do unto others what you want others to do to you. Right. So be genderless first and foremost, and believe in yourself. You know, I think what needs to change in women is you see a lot of women supporting women on the front of it, but you know, at the back, are they really supporting each other? My big question is, do women really support women? Okay, that's my big question, and it's a question I think I'll have forever. So I think you just forget that you're a woman, forget women being supporting women, just be a person and support another person. I think that's it, that should be it. I think that's the biggest my solution to it all.
Mystery writing is often lonely. So what keeps you going on days when words don't flow, or when doubts arise or creep in? Is there a personal ritual or mantra? Well, like
well, all writing is lonely, not just mystery. But mystery writing can get more intense because there's you don't usually,
you have to focus a lot.
And you have to commit a crime.
You should have a crime in your mind.
Exactly. So what you have to do is you're bringing out you have good and bad. All of us have good and bad inside you. So first you have to bring out the bad in you, and then bring out the good to suppress the bad. Okay, because the good always triumphs over the evil. So you have to do that. So when you bring out your duality, it's a very intense process. Okay, and then there's so much involved. Like you're committing crimes which you've never done and in your life, but are actually doing in imagination, but which are as real can be. So you're so involved in it that you at some point you need to detach yourself from it. Okay, because it's a very intense process. So yes, I need that seclusion, because when I'm in that frame of mind, that angry kind of frame of, there's no point going and meeting my nephew or my dog because I'm in a negative frame of mind. I need to come out of it. But
so you have to really go into that state, you know, that criminal mind.
I need to know how the knife will shine into a body and how the wound is going to look. And I've never seen it.
Yes.
So I have to imagine it. And once I'm imagining it, I'm creating an alternate reality for myself first.
Correct.
It will then be for the author, for the others. But first I have to create that reality for myself, and that is very intense. And that can be a little unnerving sometimes because you need to get out of it yourself. And then those are the times when I need to be alone. So for me, my writing process is really lonely because I need to be just with my characters and me for a certain period of time. But when I'm done with it, I am so done with it. Like I just cry and let it all out. Yes. And sometimes when things are not going well, like there's a writer's block or something, then I just switch off completely, go for long walks, play with dogs, watch a film, be with my family, go shopping. I do all these things and then come back to it again.
And that's such a I mean, really, you have to get into that criminal kind of a mind. I can't just imagine that.
But it's a kind of
because when you haven't done anything like that, just getting into it in imagination
is difficult.
Is difficult. That's what I feel. And for Dan Brown, it was Robert Langdon. And for you, who is your favorite character which you have brought into your book?
Well, definitely Ray Parker right now, who's in this book in the Destination Thrillers. So that's Ray. And that's Archie the dog, if you can see it. Ray and Archie the dog.
They together solve the crime, is it?
Ray solves the crime, and Archie is of course there to help him. But definitely Ray Parker, and the funny thing about Ray Parker is that he came to me in a dream, in my dream. And almost all my characters come to me in my dreams. And I was so in my dream, or not dream, you can call it a vision. And I saw this tall guy in a leather jacket with a ponytail, standing with his back to me, by a lakeside and with a mountain in the front, and an evening scene, and I saw him there, and I knew at once that here is a new character waiting to be born. And the first book, The Trail of Four, is where Ray is actually standing like that in front of the the palace lake in Austria, and that whole thing just came the way I saw it. So Ray is very special for me because I've tried to create the perfect man. Of course, he's got his flaws, and of course, he's got his ups and downs. And for example, he gets emotionally attached to his to all the criminals as well as his friends and everyone, and it's very difficult for him to detach from the criminal. So he tries to go into the mind of the criminal, and Ray works with energies. He gets psychic visions of a place which he has already visited. So for example, in the first book, he knows that Salzburg is going to be destroyed, and that's how he lands there. Also, every place that you see in the Destination Thriller, Ray lands there because he gets a vision of the place. And he can see your energies, and by looking at you, he'll know about your aura and what kind of a person, and images come up in his mind. So he works, he meditates, he wears a metal Ganesh pendant, but actually his mother is French and his father is an Indian classical singer, and that's why his name is Ray, like Do Re Mi or Sa Re Ga Ma.
He's a mystic.
Sorry, he's not a mystic. He's not a mystic. He's a very normal person, but he inclines towards the side of him. So he's a special person.
Ma'am, can you read some excerpts from the new book?
I'll read one excerpt, which is so this book, The Grand Oxford Mystery, has two novels going on parallelly. So there's a novel and there's a novel within the novel. And the novel within the novel is The Grand Oxford Mystery. And it's written by this old gentleman who's a writer, and he's written 7-8 chapters which Ray has to find. So as Ray discovers the chapters, you get to see what Paul is going through in his head as an author. So you're gonna you dive deep into an author's mental state. So I'd like to read that one page, and you can tell me if authors feel that way. But this author feels that way. So this is Paul, and he's written this from chapter 7 of the novel within the novel. Yes. So this is chapter 7. An artist is a possessed person, too influenced by the reality around him but deliberately untouched by the consequences of the daily grind around him. He cannot afford to be common. His acute sensitivity to life and highly imaginative responses to boredom are what make him exceptional. Commonplace reactions to a situation can drag him down. He lives in a creative hemisphere, elevated above the ordinary, engrossed in a world unknown and illusory to others. There's a jungle inside my head, which juxtaposes with the cliffs by the sea. The busy marketplace where people shout to peddle their wares somewhere in the east to the undulating sand dunes of the endless deserts. The mind jumps from one stimulating image to a probing thought and to another rousing emotion. Sensory experiences to distant observations, looping and wading through the morass of trick imagery till I can break through, gasping for breath, for a minimum comprehension of what I need to hold on to in the island of floating images. When I journey through such life-altering experiences and produce them in words and share my inner world with the outer world, I expect a modicum of appreciation. When that isn't forthcoming, the trauma can be real. How many deaths can I as a writer die? And how many times can I be reborn? Time means everything when spent in reinventing and rebirthing, and is the most painful phase that anyone can imagine. The journey of a writer lies between the time he is rejected to the time he resurrects himself, with no encouragement from the world reader. Much like the aspen tree, whose survival instinct leads to the cloning of the tree, leading to aspen groves over acres that last for centuries. Magical, miraculous nature. No, it isn't easy to be a writer. I can vouch for it.
So nice, ma'am. It's a real mind of an author, you know. The same thing happens to every author.
Every author goes through that.
Yeah, goes through that. Yes. And he needs somebody to really
appreciation.
Appreciation
is important for any artist. I mean, that's the building block. If they don't get it, well, it's like
so much of toil, so much of imagination that he has brought onto the book, and everything. If it is not, taken by the audience, he feels very sad. That's a very sad part of the author. Anyway, you have brought it very nicely. Then the last question to you. You have to finish this in one word or a short phrase.
Okay.
I'll be asking you something like writing is.
I would say passion, but that's very cliched now. Writing is craze. It's a craze. You have to be crazy. Yeah. So I don't know what you have to be crazy.
Crazy.
Writing is for crazy people.
Okay. Festivals are. Readers are.
Dwindling. Readers are dwindling.
That's so true, I can say. Yes. And mysteries?
Mystery is life.
Okay.
Life, okay.
Life is?
Mystery.
Mystery is
life, and life
is mystery.
Yes, life is a mystery.
So nice, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Manjiri Prabhu, ma'am. It was so interesting interacting with you, and the insights that you gave about writing and being a crime thriller, the way you feel and the way you write, all that you have brought in front of the audience today. I am grateful to you for coming to Spark Igniting Minds and sharing your thoughts, wisdom and wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Captain Sahana, for inviting me and for these lovely questions. It just makes you think so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.